Hi, I'm Joseph. I'm a 4-H Healthy Living Ambassador from Cochise County, Arizona. Today we'll be reading Gazpacho for Nacho by Tracey C, illustrated by Coloina Farias. In a big city by a large busy plaza lived a very small boy in a simple white casa. The name of this tiny muchacho was Nacho, and all he would eat was a soup called gazpacho. Gazpacho for breakfast, gazpacho for lunch, gazpacho for dinner, for snacks, and for brunch. He didn't like meat or the smell of pescado. He didn't like chicken or ice cold helado. And when he saw slices of manchego cheese, he asked, "Is there any gazpacho left, please?" Mommy would say, You're a picky muchacho." Nacho would say, "But I just want gazpacho." In breakfast, he woke up to leche and churros. He cried, "Mommy, this food's for the burros." For snacks, Mommy sliced up chorizo and bread. Nacho would ask for gazpacho instead. At lunchtime, Mommy served Spanish tortilla. Nacho would put the pan under his silla. At dinner, Mommy fried mushrooms and setas and served them with rice next to crispy croquetas. She filled up a bowl with fresh loaves of pan and whipped up a custard dessert she called flan. All of the food was rejected by Nacho. "Gazpacho, gazpacho," he cried, "mas gazpacho." "Nacho," she cried, "it's not right. No es justo. That all of these meals are not to your gusto. You're coming with me to the market we're shopping. I'm learning to cook," Nacho asked, his eyes popping. The market was bustling. People were looking for all the legumbres they need for cooking. Nacho's mouth watered while gazing at piles of colorful vegetables stretched out for miles. Onions, potatoes, cebollas y papas, bamboo and spinach, bamboo espinacas, cucumbers, mushrooms, pepinos y setas, lettuce and lentils, lechuga, lentejas, corn, avocado, maíz, aguacates, and last but not least, bright red juicy tomates. "Tomato," said Mommy, "for you to cook, Nacho. You'll learn to prepare your beloved gazpacho." "Ole," Nacho cried, "I can cook, yes I can." And off to the puestos of veggies he ran. He gathered tomates that smelt fresh and clean, and found a pepino whose skin was dark green. Among all the colorful, fresh alminetos, he picked out a few crispy green pimientos. He added a small clove of garlic or ajo, and set off for home to begin el trabajo. Dressing the part with a huge chef's sombrero, Nacho felt just like a true cocinero. With bright red tomates piled up to his chin, he looked up at Mommy and said, "Let's begin." They cored and they sliced, and they diced and they seeded the pounds of tomatoes and peppers they needed. Mommy then carefully chopped a cebolla. Nacho helped finding a pot of a large olla. Nacho said, "Mommy, I need the pepino." He gave her the cucumber. What a good niño. Mommy then crumbled some bread in the pot and left it to soak till it softened a lot. They sprinkled some salt and it flew in through the air. "Ay, Nacho," cried Mommy, "the bowl's over there." Lastly, she drizzled a very small drop of oil and vinegar over the top. She blended the soup in a big batidora and left it to chill in the fridge for 1 hora. Dinner that night was a wonderful treat. Nacho called Mommy, "La cena, come eat." Nacho rushed into the kitchen and saw the bowls of gazpacho and stood there in awe, bowl after bowl of gazpacho. Cooked by a clever, creative muchacho, he sat down to eat with a giant sonrisa and finished the soup very quickly, deprisa. Nacho was happy, but deep in his heart, he knew that gazpacho was only the start. He thought of the fresh, tasty meals he would make, the foods he would cook, and the sweets he would bake. Eagerly off to the kitchen he dashed, where all the legumbres, the veggies, were stashed. Mommy, he said, though I love my gazpacho, I'm trying new recipes. Call me Chef Nacho. Now you put it in the fridge for an hour, and now you have gazpacho. How are you going to make half your plate's fruits and vegetables?